Hello and welcome. How are you today? As you come in, please let me know in the chat where you're joining in from, city and country that you're joining in from, and feel free to share your social media handle or your website. Love to know who you are and what your business is all about. So feel free to do that in the chat. And one thing I want to say as you guys are all coming in, when you mention something in the chat, make sure that you are addressing all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see what you're writing. So Jean-Louis, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here all the way from Cameroon. That's so exciting when you have people from all around the world. Let us know where you're joining in from. And yeah, as I said, put in your website, social media handle, so that maybe you make a friend or two from today's conversation. I also want to welcome my husband, Christoph. He is joining in as well. So delighted. And I see as you all come in, we'll start in just a second. I want to welcome you all. I'm here in Burnsville, North Carolina. If you know this area on the East Coast of the United States, about 3 hours from Charlotte and an hour and a half from Asheville in the mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains. So that's where I'm located. Come on in, welcome, welcome. Also some housekeeping. I just wanted to put these links in the chat. If you missed live session number 1, you can watch the replay. Just go to millionairewebdesigner.com/live. And the applications for our 12-month coaching program, the Millionaire Web Designer program, is now open since a couple of days. And you can take a look at all the details and have your application come in. The link is millionairewebdesigner.com/apply-2021. I have processed all the applications yesterday that came in by 6 p.m. So if you made the application by 6 p.m., you should have seen a response. And I'm so delighted to see these applications, like really amazing web designers at different stages and different goals. So super excited. And so today is the second of 3 live events that I'm doing in preparation for November 9th on Tuesday, when the big training is happening, where I share with you how to build a web design business, how to build full-time income with web design. I'll be sharing with you my 3-part framework that I use to build my business, and also everything about the program. So it's an invite-only event. So you want to send in your applications to get the invitation for that event. So that's a little bit of housekeeping before I jump in. Oh, I am giving out 2 prizes today. And by the way, I wanted to show you I actually have brand new copies of the book. So yesterday I watched the replay of live number 1, and it felt like I was, I read this book and I'm now giving it away. No, I have 3 brand new copies of this book, We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. And each of the sessions, 1 lucky person is going to get this book. And because today is live number 2, I'm giving out 2 books. So 1 person will get We Should All Be Millionaires, and the other one is The Millionaire Women Next Door, The Many Journeys of Successful American Business Women. So these 2 books, 2 lucky winners are going to get that, just for some fun. So Tiana, welcome from Toronto, Canada. And Sanyo from India, welcome. By the way, happy Diwali to anyone who's celebrating Diwali. That's a big celebration for the Indian American community. whether no matter what background, like Hindus, Muslims, Christians, we all celebrate Diwali, I think. Okay, so let's jump into today's very, very juicy topic, which is what to do when a client starts negotiating your prices. This is a topic that web designers face. I certainly have faced clients negotiating on prices. When your pricing is done right, it's great. Oh,
you're using computer microphone?
Yeah.
So don't have this on the computer. It makes a lot of noise.
Oh, I'm making a lot of noise. Should I set up the microphone then? Or
yeah, let me set it up for
okay. So I completely forgot to set up the microphone. So sorry for any rustling sounds. Thank you, Christoph. Here. The joys of doing things live and remembering everything that needs to happen. Okay, so when your pricing is done right, it's great. It feels good. You can communicate with confidence. But sometimes if it's not done right, you feel frustrated or resentful towards the situation, maybe towards the client and maybe even towards your own business. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's really important to be in a good place with pricing. And of course, there's a lot to learn, lots of things to tweak with trial and error. There's many things that you can develop as you work with your clients. I hope the microphone is now, just show that it's using the H4n.
It did? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Have fun.
Thank you. So, where was I? Yeah, so there's a lot of things around pricing that, you know, even before you communicate with the client, you have to make sure everything is in place. Now, after you've done all of this hard work, you're in a conversation with the client, and let's look at a scenario where you presented your packages and they are asking to negotiate on the price. This is a moment where it's not comfortable, and you know, if it's not on a client consultation call, on the acquisition call, there's an entire script I teach in the MWD program, what you need to say to the client and how you conduct that acquisition call. But it could also happen via email after that call, right? So the first tip I have for you is, if you're put in a situation where the client says, you know, can you reduce the price, or can you work with this or this amount? If you are not prepared to handle that question, give yourself the permission to ask for more time. It's completely okay to ask for more time. If you're put on the spot, if you feel unprepared, you don't have to negotiate right then and there. I often will ask for more time. And in the beginning, I felt like I always had to be on top of things, you know, at the drop of a hat, like have an answer, always be prepared. But sometimes you're not. Sometimes some questions will catch you off guard. So tip number one is ask the client that you need to think about it, and you will get back to them. This can be done on the call, or you can also do it, you know, post in the emails. Let me know in the chat if you've been put on the spot. You know, let's have interaction going in the chat, so I can know you're there and you're, you know, what thoughts you're having to anything that I'm saying. I would love to hear. And I'm going to select 2 people from the chat this time, from people who are typing in things in the chat. So that's easier for me to find people than looking at a whole list of people. Anyways, so tip number 2, negotiating on the price. Whatever your policy is, have clarity on that, and then stick by it. So what I mean by this is, I don't negotiate on my prices. So that's just my business policy. I will say that, you know, if somebody's asking me to change the pricing, or reduce the pricing, my company policy is that I don't negotiate on prices. And you can always use this line, like, this is my company policy. And I understand that it's not something, if this pricing doesn't work for you, I totally understand. I'm ready to work with you when this does fit into your plans. Something like that, right? So not closing the door on people and just setting your boundaries. So the main thing about price negotiation is really that, no, there's no reduction of prices. Just because you asked for it doesn't mean I'm going to negotiate, because it's not fair to my next client who doesn't ask for a price reduction and pays the full price that I'm asking. And it's also not fair to me and my business for all the things that I bring to the table, my time, my skills, my expertise, the value that I bring. My husband often says that my projects, I give way more than the cost of the project. So I know that I'm over delivering. My aim is to over deliver in any project that I'm working. So it's not fair to my efforts to be reducing the prices. Plus, as an independent web designer, as a freelance web designer, as a web design business owner, the time that you take to deliver the project is just one of the many components that go into pricing, right? You are running a business, and along with the cost of actually delivering the program, you have to think about overhead costs, if there are any, software costs, costs for taxes, for saving for Social Security, for your retirement, health insurance. All of these things as an independent business owner comes from your business, comes from your, it contributes to the pricing of your package portfolio. So you have done all the hard work, you've done the calculations, and then you've come up with the price. You cannot be just negotiating, reducing the price because X, Y, and Z request comes in, right? So I'd say be bold, stick with the price, and there's a way to price your projects that, make sure that it feels right. It's not relying on what other people are charging. It's not relying on your fears. You're not undercharging, but it's the right amount that feels good, and the marketplace is ready to pay that price. Now, I'm going to share with you a couple of examples. This is not my only tip for you. Okay, there's a caveat when I say no price negotiation. I will show you a situation that kind of counteracts this policy. Just hold on, and I'll tell you about that. So, my first experience with negotiation came from a client in the beginning when I was starting to do these projects, where somebody said it was a actor in New Jersey who wanted to hire me for a 5-page web design project, 5-page website. It was supposed to be a portfolio project. He had already worked in film and television, so he had a bit of a portfolio collection there. And this was on Upwork when I was starting out there. And it was, a low ticket project. Okay, it was $650 that I had quoted. Way undercharging, even though I had the skills to charge more, but I didn't have the confidence to charge more, right? And I didn't have confidence in my portfolio that I had built up. So I charged him $650, and he starts negotiating. He goes back and forth and asks to reduce it to $400. And in the end, he comes to $600. Like, I'm not budging, right? So he comes to $600, and then he says, can you reduce by $50? So at this point, one could say, hey, it's close enough. It's just about $50. Why not just give him the offer, right? But it's an example. It's a symbol of how our relationship is going to go going forward. I could sense that this is not going to be a win-win relationship where I would be over-delivering, like going overboard, and still not satisfy this client. I had that feeling coming. And what's funny is he in the texts, the thread that, on Upwork, you have a thread back and forth. He said to me, because I'm a self-employed actor, I would request that you reduce the price. And I found this so hilarious. And I responded back, because I'm a self-employed web designer, I request that you respect the price. So that's how I handled that. And I was ready to not win the project. I was doing other email marketing related projects as well. So I was not relying on this one project, right? If you're having to pay your bills and you need to buy food, you just get the project and get moving and, start earning, right? But this was not the case for me. I felt that I trusted that there would be other clients. This was not the last one that it's not the last client on the planet, right? So, but that was in the beginning days. I want to give you a couple other examples from more recent times. And that is from last year. So my 5-page web design package at that time was going at, no, this project was an e-commerce project, and I was charging $3,500. And we had a good conversation with this client. This is now a client that I had on 99 Designs and Squarespace Marketplace. So the client conversation, the acquisition call went really well. I had a good feeling with the client. He seemed to like me, and we had a rapport going. And I quoted him, my package was $3,500 for a e-commerce site, which included 5 pages on Squarespace, 5 custom design pages, and 10 products on the e-commerce, a full-fledged shop. So, and he was aware of this price before we even went on the phone call, okay? Because in my first communication, I'm one of those web designers who likes to state my pricing packages up front. I'm not one of the other camp where you have to first contact and then you figure out the pricing. So yeah, Michelle, you're not charging enough. You realize this? I realized that I wasn't charging enough at that time for an e-commerce plus 5-page site, $3,500. It was a huge project. Like in 2 weeks, I delivered all of that, and it was humongous. What was I saying? Yeah, so he was aware of my pricing packages because it's on my website, and I even sent him a PDF detailing everything. And at the end of the call, I said, okay, so I will send you all the details of what this package includes. $3,500, it will include this, this, and this. And I'll send you a text, summary of everything so you can look at it in detail. And he selected a time slot, and he said, great. Send that over to me. So now I want to show you what happened next, and I have some screenshots to show you, okay? I'm going to share my screen. Tiana writes that even though I'm experienced now, I still sometimes have trouble charging what I'm worth. Yeah, they cannot pay you what you're worth. You're way more worth way more than a web design project. But I know what you're saying, right? I understand what you're saying. It's not easy to price. I'm showing you this photo because this was yesterday, and this is today. We actually have snow. We have our first snow of the season. Okay, so here's the example number 1. So after we have talked, this is the email that comes back from the client. He says, good morning, Sophia. It was very nice talking to you. I really appreciate your style and way of working. I was expecting to pay around $3,000. Is there any way to get closer to that price? So one of the first things that happens, when a client starts to negotiate on the price, you start thinking like, am I not good enough? Is my package not good enough? have I not done a good enough job to demonstrate the benefits and the value that I'm bringing? These are the thoughts that come, and they have for me, and maybe they do for you as well. But let the client's response not deter you in your confidence, because you may think that you may reflect back on yourself when they say these things, when they try to reduce the price. But in effect, everyone just wants a good deal, right? You and I, we all want a good deal. And so this was just an incident of the client asking to get a little bit of a discount. And we all do that. And it's not a reflection on you or your work or your positioning or your presentation. It's just a reflection of human nature. So I think this is important for us web designers to keep in mind, because we don't want to fall into that trap of, am I charging too much? I'm sure you're undercharging. Most likely you're undercharging, right? So that's not it. It's just a matter of somebody trying to get a little bit of discount. And it does put you in an awkward position, but there's a way out of it, right? And here you can see it's only about $500. It's not even like a huge thing. Like if they can pay $3,000, they can pay $3,500, right? So it's not a huge gap. And I knew that I was going to give a lot. I was confident by this time. I had come to an understanding that in a 2-week project, not only am I doing 5 web pages, custom designed, in depth, with a huge portfolio page included, but also 10 products and the whole e-commerce, which is like a huge thing. And there's going to be hand holding and whatnot. So I knew that $3,500 was a really good price. And if I went down, I would feel resentment. I wouldn't really feel good about myself, not about the client so much, but just about me. So this is how I answered him next. Actually, let me play this. So yeah. Okay. So next thing, I responded to him like this. I said, I understand that you have a budget and you like to have it as close to your budget as possible. Completely fine. But let me just clarify that $3,500 Squarespace website plus shop includes the setup of 10 products. And I'll also be teaching you how to add more products and training and empowering you to add new things so you don't have to hire somebody. And as I cannot lower the quality of my work, I cannot lower the price. Now, believe me, to say that statement took a lot of confidence, and I wasn't fully that confident, but I knew that I had to state this boldly, and I was ready to let go of that project because I want to feel good when I'm working with a client. I don't want to feel that I undersold myself, that I'm not getting adequately remunerated for my services. I want to feel good and confident and happy. So I said, okay, if this doesn't work for you, I totally understand, no worries. So this message went out, and the next day I was all jittery, like what is it going to write and what's going to happen? And this is the answer that comes next. Hi, Sophia, I understand your position. I'd like to hire you because I believe in you. I'd like to reserve the September 7th to September 18th slot, and I'll start preparing the content. So you can see that the client was convinced about me. He was happy to work with me, but just wanted to have a little bit of a leeway, right? So when they start to negotiate, remember that it's not a reflection of your pricing or packages, just they want a good deal and they're going to negotiate. But there will also be clients who will respect your prices, what you tell them. And you have experienced that, right? Where you let them know what your price is and they'll say yes or no. If it doesn't fit, they will move on. So that's one way to handle it. And there's one more example I want to show you. I know we are a little bit close to time, but we may go a little bit over. So just keep that in mind. I have one juicy example to share with you. So this is what happened with another client. This is now also on 99 Designs. And so just to show that not all negotiations are bad, right? If you have any thoughts on the example that I shared with you, just let me know in the chat. Not all negotiations are bad. It also can be just a reflection of where your client is at. And you can reframe it as not so much of whether or not we are working together, but in what way are we actually going to work together? How are we going to make this happen? So let me share with you the next example. This is just before I share my screen, I want to share that it's the conversation with this client was also about a 5-page website, and he saw my details. Again, the price at the time was all clear on my website, and he came back with this rebuttal. So that's where we were with this client. So this is the last example. Okay, example 2. So he comes back and he says, hi, Sophia, would you be able to work with the 99 Design Squarespace Essentials package that has a fixed price of $1,300 US? And this Squarespace Essential package is something that Squarespace Marketplace and 99 Designs had put together, where they had decided the price, the fixed price. And if you are on 99 Designs Squarespace Marketplace, you're probably aware of this. He said, fixed price of $1,300 for the one website with up to 5 pages, ready to launch in 14 days, 2 revisions and 1 third-party plugin. Yeah, so would you want to do that? So he knew my full price, and he comes back with the rebuttal, negotiating at $1,300. So by this time, I had now understood that clients, when this is good, this is a good sign. He wants to work with me. He's also offering to, jump on Zoom. So this is good. This is a good sign. This is my response to him. Thank you for your quick response. I'm currently not participating in that program. My projects start at $3K for a 2-week design, 2-week design of a 5-page Squarespace site. And I had given him some examples earlier. And as a top-level designer on the platform, the pricing model of the 99 Designs Squarespace Essential package does not do justice to the level of time, care, and expertise I bring to the table with each of my projects for a 2-week working engagement. So I'm referencing back this package that 99 Designs has created, as an entry level for all web designers to easily get packages. However, I do have an offer of a website in a day package at $1,500, which includes whatever, includes all this, and this. And we can have as many revisions in the time we work together, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in that 8-hour period with a 1-hour break. And I can get a lovely design established and at least 3 pages. And if there's not too much back and forth, we could even get up to 5 pages done, straightforward. This will not have the bells and whistles, so setting boundaries, like you're not going to get a full custom web design with coding and all the animations and this and that, but you will be able to launch at the end of the day. Okay, I clicked a little bit too fast. So here you can see that I am setting my boundaries. I'm restating that if you want that 2-week package, which the Squarespace 99 Designs is offering, that's a 14-day program for $1,300. That's not going to work for me because my 2-week design package is at $3K. However, if $1,300 is like your budget, like he's giving me information that around $1,300 is what feels good to him, I then brought out of my pocket the website in a day, which is going to be a bit more than what he said. It's $1,500, but he will get I'll get the job done, and he will get to work with me, a top-level designer, and so he can be confident that he gets awesome results at the budget that he's comfortable at. And so you can see that having a different package at hand is very important, right? this was his response. Hi, Sophia, I appreciate you responding to my question. I'm interested in the website in a day concept. Okay, so now we move the client to this new conversation about the website in a day. And then he loads this message with a bunch of questions, right? So have you created a website for a counselor? I don't know about the bells and whistles. I need to make sure. Kind of hoping for a 4-page package. So you can see there's some objections and some doubt and some things coming up. It's not a full-on yes. So now this is still a negotiation. And so I come back and I respond to him with addressing all of these points in detail. And then we go on a consultation call to get to know each other and answer any of his last questions. After we did that, he got confidence that all of his questions were answered. He understood what the package would entail. Then he writes me, hi, Sophia, I talked to my small business coach and made the decision to move forward with you. Yay! So you can see that when they're asking for less money, you also reduce the scope, right? So it's like a lever, like a seesaw. At this price, you get this. If you want to go down with the price, you also go down with scope and come to a happy medium, happy balance where you can all feel good. So those are my examples, and I think that gives you an idea. I want to see if there are any comments or questions, any ahas or insights that you're thinking about from all that I'm sharing here. Let me know in the chat over here. So to summarize the tips that I want to share with you from the whole conversation today is, number one, don't be caught off guard. Don't feel that you're on the spot. If you feel like that, ask for more time. And you can respond back in a different call or via email, or just take time to think about the question at hand. You don't have to have an answer on the spot, right? Tip number two, say no and stay your ground, or at least have your policy in mind. Be clear about whether or not you're negotiating, or how are you going to approach the situation if a client is negotiating, right? Michelle says, love the idea of a website in a day. Yes, it's a game changer. And I teach that in the Millionaire Web Designer program, because this is a way, one of the levers that you can pull in your business to continuously increase your revenue and also work less. And I teach how to do that. Tip number three is, as I said, if you reduce the price, you need to reduce scope. You can't get the same thing and have the price go down. You also reduce the deliverables, what you're going to accomplish, and time, also important. And set your boundary on how much back and forth you're going to go. I've had situations where I work with trying to negotiate with a client, and it's dragging on. And at one point, I just said, I don't feel like we're coming to an agreement here. I'm going to withdraw. I'm like, I'm out of this game, because you have to set boundaries. Otherwise, this can go on for weeks, and that just drains everyone's energy, drains my energy. And tip number four, have packages at different price points. It doesn't have to be web design package at higher price, web design package at lower price. It could also be a workshop or an online course or something else that you can downsell. A VIP day or website in a day package is a great way to have something else in your toolbox to bring out when client is not happy with something. If you're talking about a 2-week web design package at the higher ticket, do all you can to demonstrate the benefits of it. But if the budget is really out of their means, then you can offer a different way, a different arrangement to work with you. So when you work with me in the MWD program, you get weekly group coaching. So when you're able to send in your question, a situation that you're dealing with the client, you can send that in, and we can help you address that objection or price negotiation situation specifically in your case. So that's all. That's one of the cool benefits of the coaching program. Okay, so are there any questions or comments about this that I shared? Very juicy topic of price negotiation. Tiana says website and a day service are amazing. So that sounds like you have that in place, Tiana. That's awesome. Yes. Okay, so let me know your questions, and as you type them in or comments, you know, any feedback on the topic, let me know in the chat. I'm going to, I'd like to remind you to apply. I want each one of you to fill out a 2-question application. Check out the program details and let me know you're interested, because we're doing the November 9th session on Tuesday with 90 minutes of training that will really help you in many different ways, how to create a full-time income with web design. So let me see your applications come in. I want to see those. Let's pick 2 winners. It's a brand new copy of Millionaire Women Next Door, and We Should All Be Millionaires. A very, very wonderful. I haven't read this book. This is actually my birthday gift, so I'm going to read this book. I'm going to get my own copy. This is brand new copies for 2 lucky winners. In the meantime, let me know. I'm going to select somebody from the chat. So make sure that you are participating in the chat. Okay, let's see. You can say hello and put in your website. Just interact in the chat. Let's see who's going to be the number 1. The first one is Michelle Walder. Yay, congratulations. You're going to get We Should All Be Millionaires, the book by Rachel Rogers, just came out this summer. So drop me a line, drop me an email so that I can ship it out to you, mail it out to you. All right, make sure to write me. Congratulations, Michelle. And the next person, yay. Congrats, Michelle. Christoph, I'm looking for my next person in the chat. Let's see who I'm going to pick. Who wants this book? Who wants this book? I'm just waiting for Christoph's message here. Jean-Louis, you're the winner. Yay! You're going to get Millionaire Women Next Door. And women can be very inspiring, right? So this is not just for women. Anyone can learn from women. So Jean-Louis, you'll get it shipped all the way to Cameroon. Yay! So that is our live today. Oh, Michelle, you're in Portugal. Yeah, no worries. We're international. I love that. We'll send it over to Portugal. Please come to the live on Saturday, because we are going to talk about how to deal with scope creep when you're working with a project and client wants more things, how to deal with that. I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks. So the winners today, please email me so I know where to send your prize. See you on Saturday, and send in your application, because I want to see you on Tuesday, the 90-minute training, how to create a full-time income with web design. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining in. I know you could be doing 100 million other things. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on Saturday. Bye for now. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Yay. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jean. Katya, thank you so much. Bye now. Thank you, Sanyo. Happy Diwali. Bye.